Hey, it's Joy here. Today I'm going to be looking at a video by Earthling Ed. If you don't know who Earthling Ed is, he's a vegan and animal rights activist. His content's really interesting and I'd recommend you check it out. His video is a lot better than mine. But yeah, I thought it was a really interesting topic because it's looking at the abuse that takes place on goat farms, in particular this goat farm that belongs to St. Helen's St. Helen's farm, I think it is, which is like a goat milk farm. It highlights both the legal and illegal abuse that happens. I tend to focus a lot on, in my own activism and my own outreach, on the legally sanctioned violence that happens to animals. Since I find if I focus on the illegal stuff, it makes it easy for people to avoid responsibility, because they'll say, oh, that's just bad farms, or I get my, whatever it is, meat, dairy, eggs from a good farm. They don't, hit and punch their animals or whatever. So I tend to focus on the legally sanctioned animal abuse. However, I think it is important to highlight the fact that it is just so commonplace that the illegal abuse, of course, as well as the legal stuff, is institutionalized. It's just across the board. And so I think it's important to point it out because it happens in, all farms. When people leave hidden cameras in these places, they always find illegal abuse alongside the legal stuff. Anyway, I tried recording this earlier, but it failed, so hopefully this works this time. Anyway, let's get into it. Hey, just a disclaimer before you watch this video. It does include graphic footage of animal abuse from farms. I just want to say, if you don't want to watch that, then I want to ask you, if you're not already vegan, if it's not good enough for your eyes, then why is it good enough for your stomach? If you can't bear to watch it, then why do you continue to fund it? Just something to think about if you're not prepared to watch something and you do pay for these products. Thank you.
Goat milk is often viewed as an ethical alternative to cow's milk. However, footage taken at a farm belonging to the most prominent goat milk company in the UK, St. Helen's, shows a very different reality to the one given to us by goat farmers.
Our happy goats provide us with great tasting milk.
Also, they juxtapose this advert from the St. Helen's farm with what actually happens on their farms, saying happy goats make great tasting milk, and it's just disgusting, the kind of abuse. And these farmers will always kind of present it to you as if it's happy goats, they're loving life, when the reality is they're not. And even if the illegal stuff wasn't happening, obviously this is horrific, the fact they're beating them, in addition to all the other exploitation. If they're just taking away their children, just sexually assaulting them, just murdering them, that'd be enough. But on top of that, their interest is in the money, not the animals.
The footage, sent to Search by investigators, showcases the reality of what is happening to goats every single day. Like dairy cows and humans, goats first need to become pregnant in order to produce milk. However, when the goat is given birth, the farmers will separate the newborn kids from their mothers, so that the mother's milk can be taken for human consumption. This separation, in the exact same way as in the cow milk industry, causes the mothers and kids emotional and psychological distress. The kids then have their ears tagged, often being held up by their necks. The kids that don't then leave the chute are either picked up and thrown out or have their tails twisted, causing them to scream in pain until they comply with the farmers.
It's just disgusting. It said that the separation happens in across all dairy industries, and it's, as you said, it's emotionally traumatic for both the parent and the child. and then like twisting their tails and stuff. They're just treating these goats as if they were products, as if they're things, inanimate objects. And that's the thing. The farmers will usually get away with what they can. Whatever is easiest to make. They only care about the milk at the end of the day. They don't care about the animals. If they hurt the animals too much that they can't produce milk, that's bad. But anything like below that is, if it helps them to move them along or whatever, they'll do it. And they just have no consideration. So yeah, don't ever think that farmers care about the animals. They might think they care about them, but they care about the money. They don't care about the animals themselves.
In the UK, it is estimated that around 50,000 dairy goat kids are slaughtered annually at a young age, the majority of these being male, as they will be of no use to the goat milk industry. The other males who will not be slaughtered will be raised for meat. Tail twisting, physical aggression, and rough handling was documented as being standard practice on this goat farm, with farmers regularly holding the goats by their necks or twisting their tails until they cry out in pain, throwing them around and even hitting them. Farmers were also documented pulling the goats by their ears, forcing them onto a conveyor belt or slamming them down on their backs. Once on the conveyor belt, the goats have their hoofs trimmed, a procedure that takes place because the goats are farmed indoors their whole lives, meaning their hooves do not wear down naturally as they would for goats who live in the wild.
There's obviously contempt for these animals. I think it's a lot of the time when these people act in this way, they're just kind of taking out their frustration. Like, they might from their perspective, they might feel like they've had a long day and like this goat's been uncooperative, so I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. Farmers do this. They kind of, I guess, let out their frustrations on the animals, and it's obviously, I'm not trying to say that's an excuse. I'm just saying that from what I understand, at least, is one of the reasons why this sometimes happens. It's really disgusting to see.
Due to the fast-paced and careless handling, goats were frequently hurt by the procedure and cried out in pain. Some goats were also seen struggling to stand after they had been removed from the conveyor belt. Lameness and physical discomfort was also documented on the farm, with goats struggling to stand or walk. As is standard on animal farms, dead and dying animals could be seen lying around the farm. In this clip, a farmer picks up a couple of dead kids and throws them over a metal gate onto another dead goat, creating a heap of dead bodies.
The footage also shows a worker restraining several goats, holding them down so they are unable to get away, as another person appears to inject them with a chemical euthanasia, their bodies going limp as they died. They then appear to poke their eyes to make sure they are dead, before then dragging their bodies by the legs.
I don't know why they felt they needed to euthanize this animal. I know, of course, when with dairy animals, when their milk production declines, they will kill them. That might be the case. It might have been, as we've seen, because some of them were laying there struggling to walk. It could have been for that reason. Either way, it's proven that they don't actually care about the goats themselves. Like, if they cared about the goats, they'd want to help them and so on. Even if, for example, say this goat had some condition which was, would have taken her life. All the other goats who are killed when their milk production declines. If you care about these animals, why do you get rid of them? Why do you kill them as soon as they're not useful to you anymore? Why do you kill the male? The kids, in this case, or the calves? they don't care about them. They care about the money. That's what it is.
It is also worth stating again that St Helens is the most prominent and well-known goat milk company in the UK, and their products are stocked in major supermarkets. They are regarded as being the best of the best when it comes to goat farming, but as you can see from this footage, that means nothing for the animals.
I think I can't say better than Ed said. Like, this is meant to be the best of the best. From what I understand, all the major supermarkets have dropped this brand at the moment. I mean, it's likely they'll probably take them back up. They wouldn't say like, oh, we no longer use this specific farm anymore, and they'll probably take them back up again. If the supermarkets generally cared about the animal abuse, they'd drop all dairy, all meat, eggs. I think it's a good thing that they're showing that, like, at least they're pretending to give a shit. I think at least then it gives leeway to say, yes, we ought to be outraged by animal abuse. I guess it's almost like an in, I guess, to start highlighting further, exploitations which, are illegal. And as I said, this is systematic. This is institutionalized abuse. It happens in all farms. I think, I can't remember the exact farm. There was a pig farm that I believe is Tesco used to source their pig meats, the pig flesh, and that was also exposed to have this abuse. It happens everywhere. I'll continue.
Goats are sensitive, curious, and gentle animals. However, the animal farming industries treat them as commodities that they can exploit for profit. These sentient, feeling beings are reduced to milk machines whose worth is solely dependent on how much money they can make for the farmer. St Helens claim on their website that the milk is a reward for looking after the goats.
Milk is a reward for looking after the goats.
And that their staff have a genuine interest and love of the animal's character, which they claim is evident in their attitude and relationship with the goats. But it is obvious that the opposite is true. These goats are exploited and beaten, their milk taken from them at the consequence of separating them from their families and causing them physical and emotional pain. They are thrown around, dragged, and when they're no longer producing enough milk to be considered profitable, they're killed, either on the farm or in a slaughterhouse.
Actually, once again, picking up on from that advertisement of theirs saying, the milk is a reward for looking after them. This idea that, the goats owe us something for looking after them. I mean, we force them into existence. We forcibly breed them into existence, but they owe us something. And it's this idea that we think animals always owe us stuff. Like, there seems to be this idea, like, if an animal can't provide you something, then what's the point in it? And it's just a really disgusting way of looking at animals as like resources. They're individuals. They have their own worth.
However, we have the power to make this suffering end, so please, choose the plant-based alternative instead and live vegan.
Yes, that was a really it's a really difficult video to watch. Just seeing that abuse is just it's horrific, and I think you can all agree. I hope you also agree that not just which I said, systematic violence is not like isolated cases. This happens across all farming industries. But I hope you can see that, like, even the legal stuff is still bad. Even the best farms, which I said, the best farms, like these farms that do just stick to the legal stuff, they do exist. The majority of people do not get their flesh, eggs, dairy. They don't get them from these farms. Even if you did, it'd still be just bad. Like I said, look at the legal abuse. But if you don't, you're also probably paying for this as well. As really disgusting. I'm quite interested. I think I saw a Farmers Weekly article on this. I'm interested in what they say. So gonna go have a look at that, see if I can find that. Okay, so here we got the start of the article. St. Helen's Farm investigates alleged animal welfare breaches. So first of all, alleged. I mean, I hope you saw the footage like I did. Using alleged when you can clearly see what's happening. It's, yeah. Trying to, damage control. I guess what it is. As I said, like from a statement from them, like they said that it's highly distressing and extremely concerning for us. I mean, I think the reason it's highly distressing and concerning for them is because, it's making them look bad. You might read this and think, oh, they're horrified at what's happening to, their goats. They're just horrified that people are seeing it, and that means less money for them. So it's a business. They're not concerned for the animals. They're just concerned about the bottom line. They said that the video hasn't been fully verified at this stage. I don't know how you can say, oh, it's not fully verified. Like, the footage is there. How can you deny the footage? Do you think, like, the vegans just, I don't know, CGI'd? It's like, yeah. 1 second, a statement from Tesco saying that they, they require high animal welfare standards, which I said there was a pig farm which also showed horrendous abuse. But I said the thing is, if they care about high animal welfare, what about the animals' welfare when they're being lowered into a gas chamber, when they're being balkaned in the head, when they're having their children stolen from them? I said, like, they use these things like high animal welfare to make people feel good about buying these products. Once again, it's all bullshit. Yeah, that's it. I'm surprised they didn't try and defend it more. Normally, Farmers Weekly is very anti-vegan, as you can imagine. I mean, the thing is, like, I find it strange because obviously vegans rely on farmers, obviously plant farmers, but I think most farmers are in kind of both sides of it. So, yeah, one of the great things to come out of this, well, I say great things. There's a petition at the moment, which I really recommend you sign. It's calling for the St. Helen's to release its goats to animal sanctuaries and people who can care for their goats, so they can live out their lives and, have good lives, not be killed, not be exploited, not have their children taken from them, not be sexually assaulted. If you're interested in signing this, I'll leave a link in the description below. I think it's really important to sign it. Hopefully, maybe if it gets enough signatures, I'm kind of pessimistic in that would a goat dairy farm actually, let their products, is what they see them as, go to a good home. But maybe if there's enough signatures. So, yeah, if you could sign that would be amazing. Anyway, I hope you can understand that, yeah, abuse happens on farms. It isn't uncommon. If you're not vegan already, I hope you'll change your mind, or at least have something to think about. If you are against animal abuse, the only way you can stay consistent with that is by being vegan. You can't be against animal abuse and not be vegan, unless you're a hypocrite, of course. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry, it was quite a depressing video today. I got cat whiskers and everything, and not exactly the most appropriate for this video. Anyway, I keep rambling. So, thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. I think it's really important that we share this sort of thing. So, anyway, take care. I hope you all have a very bodacious day. Peace. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said again, it's quite a heavy video, but if you made it through it, well done. Hopefully my next video will be a bit more cheerful, but I haven't decided it, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, take care.